Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Alan Watson, the founder and lead content strategist of Blue 7 Content, a writing agency dedicated to helping brands grow through high-quality, SEO-focused content that attracts the right customers and increases organic visibility. Coming from a successful career in journalism, Alan brings a storyteller's approach to ranking in search engines. Alan, welcome to Founders Future.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me back to before you started Blue 7 Content. What were you doing before, and then what really motivated you to start the company?
So I probably would have never left my other job. I was teaching high school, and my co-founder, who you'll hear me mention a few times, she was teaching at college level English, but we both loved our jobs. We were both good at our jobs. Unfortunately, and her and I grew up together all the way back to third grade. Unfortunately, both of our parents became pretty gravely ill at almost the exact same time, and we both found ourselves scrambling to figure out what we could do that didn't involve us being in a physical location with set hours. We just couldn't do it anymore. So we both had taught writing at some point, and we were like, let's try freelance writing. And I stumbled into a law firm writing job out of the blue and brought her in with me. And we realized we're pretty good at it. Now, mind you, I didn't know what SEO was, had no clue. I actually went out, and Victoria laughs when I tell the story or cringes at the same time, but I went out and bought SEO for Dummies. Like, I bought the book
Yeah.
because I just didn't know. And when I started this, which is why we actually made the company, we were given a title of a page and told to go make it SEO optimized with no instructions beyond that. So we had to figure it out ourselves. And once we started going, we were like, well, pretty good at this. We started getting clients aside from that one. And it was, we either stop where we're at and just keep the work we can do, or we make a company and see where it takes us.
Mhm.
So that started at about, now let's say 2019, we incorporated. 2020, we were getting our start. We were about to get rolling. Unfortunately, her mother passed away right when that was all happening, and she had decided to go to law school. So this is all happening at once. So
Wow.
it was probably not the best time to start the company. And of course, 2020 is the year of COVID starting, right? So it's just a lot of things. And we just said, let's just do it. We need something to do. We're at a point now where either do it or we don't. So we started Blue 7 Content with just two of us. Her and I, she was in law school, mother just passed away, and my father just had a heart attack. It was probably the worst timing of all. But we brought on our another one of our longtime friends to help us. She was our first writer. It was just Victoria and I writing everything at first. Not sustainable for long-term growth. But long story short, that's how we ended up there, starting the company. We now have 23 people, and Victoria is a practicing attorney in Chicago. And yeah, we're growing and doing well, even in the face of AI. So that's the beginning story.
Wow. That is very unique because it wasn't like you were pulled to do it or you're like, you know what, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Just like it sounds like it's really the physical location part was the biggest thing for you.
Yeah, and we no kid ever grows up and is growing up and says, I want to be a legal marketer when I'm older, or I want to do SEO content. It just happened to be what we fell into and then realized pretty good at. Now, Victoria did go and she went the law school route. She enjoyed the legal content, already had it in her mind. She said, I'm going to go do it. And we understood at the beginning that was going to be a rough couple years because she has law school. That needs to be the focus. Then you got to start a career. People always joke because when Victoria and I grew up together, we're business married. People always said, "We all going to get married one day." We didn't. We got business married, and we knew it was going to be her having to do that for a while, and I would take the weight of operating the day to day of the company in the meantime. Now she's done and got her own practice now, and we work. She still is with us full time. So it's been great. But yeah, this is not something we knew we were going to do when we started. We both were marine science majors in college. When we started college, we started together. So yeah, talk about ending up on the exact opposite of where we thought we'd be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. That okay, very interesting. Let's dive into today and what that looks like. Who would you say at Blue Seven Content, who would you say is your ideal customer? And then from there, we can get into the different offers and services you provide.
Yeah, so I'll tell you who we thought our ideal customer would be and who it ended up being. We got into this just thinking we were going to work directly with law firms, and we do. We do a lot of work one-on-one with law firms. The real volume came when we were contacted very early on by a well-known legal marketing agency in the SEO space, and realized pretty quickly there's some volume here, but also this could destroy us because we don't know if we can handle all of this. And they told us we were in the process of ramping up a little bit because we had some additional needs. And the owner of the agency told us, he said, we have broken agencies before just because it was too much. And Victoria and we took that as a challenge. We never have been ones to back down from a challenge. So they're still our client to this day. And this is 5 years later. And our ideal client is probably, it doesn't matter whether it's a law firm or an agency, a marketing agency. It just needs to be someone who can bring us a steady amount of volume and it's not that I necessarily need a lot of volume to have quality work. What we need is we have systems in place that I want to be able to dedicate time to every client. And that's really hard to do when we have people that do very small volumes or are very hit or miss. So people that have fairly regular needs for content is our ideal. We call them our whales and dolphins. Whales is everybody knows what a whale is. We also have our dolphins. I love our dolphins too, because two dolphins make a whale. And yeah, so that's kind of what we look for. Legal marketing agencies tend to be the ones with the most need and need help with us. We don't do just legal marketing content anymore either. We do financial planning and a slew of other industries, but legal marketing is our bread and butter.
So is your core offer when you're helping these law firms and these legal marketing agencies, is it content writing, SEO content, or what's the core offering?
Yeah, no, that's we do the SEO content. So when let's just say a law firm, for example,
Yeah.
all law firms have a few different kind of content needs, especially for their website. Now, keep in mind everything we're talking about is in flux with AI modes and LLMs that are capturing a lot of the impressions instead of clicks on sites. But I'm sorry, let me repeat the question for me so I can make sure I get my train of thought back. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no worries. I was asking, what is the core offering? Is it the SEO content? Is it the writing content?
Yeah, no. So we have most of our people on our team are writers. So we have a lot of attorneys on our staff, and we have a lot of we poach a lot of people from the local universities too that we trained in our writing. Most of the work we turn in for clients is SEO content, pages for practice area pages for blogs. Blogs are not what most people think they are, but we do more in-depth pieces called focal points. But anything that's written down, that can go on the website, or we're definitely incorporating a lot more of social media because search, I tell people SEO is everything. It's not just what Google says it is right now or anymore, really. It's more of an overall marketing. Everything becomes a piece of the puzzle for your overall SEO. So, yes,
Mm.
while the bread and butter of what we do is mostly written content for the websites, we also provide content for socials, for newsletters, press releases. And the reason we offer not just SEO content and we can do more, we do thought leadership pieces as well, is because we have such a talented staff. Like a lot of agencies in our space do a few things. Let's just say it's not us. You go to another agency, there's a good chance you're going to get somebody that they're using mainly AI to draft their content, and then a human might look at it and then put it through to you, or they're outsourcing their legal content writing to people they're finding on Upwork or Fiverr or overseas. Nothing wrong with that, but you really have to put a strong quality check on that. And with us, we have handpicked all of our writers. If they're not attorneys, then they all have college degrees. English is first language. We want to make sure that they're getting the right colloquialisms, and especially with legal content, there's things you can and can't say. You have to be real careful when it comes to ethics violations, because if you start messing up, it may not be a consumer that's going to notice it, but your competitors are going to notice and someone's going to file a complaint. So we're real careful about that. And just stating a law. A law can be interpreted in so many different ways. So we like to have our writers who have trained on this. A lot of them are lawyers or paralegals, go through that content. And not only that, they're getting our editorial review. We have 3 editors on staff, all have come up through our ranks of writers, know the content front back, they know the clients, they know the writers. So we have this fluid motion all day long, back and forth with writers with feedback. We have this open Slack channel that anybody can communicate with everybody else. There's no secrets in our group. So yeah, that's answered a lot more than you asked.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you so that's it gives the listeners a holistic understanding of what it actually looks like to be a client of yours. Now, when it comes down to, because I have a lot of agency owners that listen to this, when it comes down to client acquisition, so when you're personally looking to bring on more customers into Blue Seven, whether that's legal marketing agencies or law firms, what are you doing from a lead generation and marketing front to attract more clients?
So this is where a lot of people will get aggravated with me or don't believe me, but we've never advertised. We started out with some goodwill and referrals, and the referrals have snowballed ever since. So we have grown every year, where we crossed the seven-figure mark for the first time last year.
Nice.
And it's all off referrals. We've never put out an advertisement. We've never done PPC, local service ads. We just, our work has been so good. And this is where I can honestly say that I know we're doing something right. That the owners of these agencies and these law firms are telling others about us. Now, our reviews don't reflect that. And I always caution people when they're looking at SEO agencies or any kind of agency like ours, when you're looking at people's reviews and there's not many, there's a reason for that, is because we're a quiet partner. We don't advertise we're working for the legal marketing agencies unless they expressly give us permission, because their clients don't necessarily know that they're giving it to us. Now,
Essentially, I'm sorry to cut you off. Essentially,
yeah,
you'd
you
be a
could.
subcontractor to a marketing
Yeah.
agent. Yeah.
And that is a lot of people, the ecosystem in legal marketing is, and that does seem, that can be aggravating. If I'm a lawyer looking at that, I know what that looks like from the outside. But what I hope that they can take out of this, if their content has landed with Blue Seven, it's because we're really good at what we do and we're trusted by a lot of agency partners. We get a lot of referrals, people that come to us from other agencies who I obviously won't name, but this things like we're super communicative. Every single client has my phone number or Victoria's phone number, and they, if they allow, we can get them on an external Slack chat so they can communicate with us directly when there's something wrong with a piece of paper, an assignment that we turn in, which we're humans, right? We're not relying on AI. Some mistakes happen, and we acknowledge that. We always tell people, there will be a time when you have to give us feedback, and we will respond immediately, almost immediately. Again, we're humans. If there's emergencies happening, but we've never had a client wait more than an hour to hear back from us when they had an issue, and we get back to them immediately. And a lot of agencies, when this is why I think honestly we do such a good job, is because we know every writer. The one thing I won't let go of, even though we've grown, is I assign pages to writers every single week on my own, because I know the writers and I know that not every writer is good with the exact topic that's coming up. I know who's going to be best for every topic a law firm gives us or an agency gives us. Because if it's been assigned to us, for me, it's important enough for us to pay attention to. So I know which writers are better with a certain criminal defense topic. I know which writers are good with this topic or just don't want to talk about this topic at all. I know, and this is probably, I know other agencies certainly don't do this. I ask our writers if there's any topics that they would rather avoid talking about if they have been divorced. Know that, but some of them will tell me I'd rather not write about that for right now. Or if they have lost someone in a car accident, they might not want to write a car accident page ever again. And I like, no, I have all these notes. I know who's good at what. I know who can do what, who has expertise in what. My paralegal that has handled criminal defense stuff, I know that she can do the criminal defense stuff. So it's, if it's really technical or really in depth, I can give it to her and done. So other agencies don't take that much time to, just each piece is individualized. Each piece gets so many touch points on our end, whether it's the writer, whether it's the editors, or a legal review. If it's a tough legal topic, it goes off to one of the lawyers in our group. Easy enough.
Wow. You know what I just thought of as you were saying all of this stuff? You're just emphasizing in my mind the power of specialization in business. So important because I would have never thought that you could have such a small, this seems like such a small niche to me, but
Yeah,
obviously you've been able to build a great team, a great business, you're surpassed the seven-figure mark, and then you still have people out there that are trying to be everything for everyone. And it's just,
yeah. Generalists, we get a lot of clients, a lot of non-legal marketing. There are a lot of legal marketing agencies that only do legal marketing because it is so niche. But there are a lot of agencies that do SEO for, or marketing in general, for everybody.
yeah.
And I've seen that work a few times positively, but I always encourage law firms if when it's time for you, if you're at the point where you're going to reach out to an agency to scale, you want some more leads, find someone who knows legal. A lot of times those generalist agencies will definitely they'll try to provide you with the content. Now, content is only one small piece of an overall marketing strategy. So we're this tiny piece, but they'll say they can do it. Of course they will. And then they'll go to Upwork or they'll have an internal writer who maybe just finished writing for this hospitality website, but now you want them to write this specific legal page. And that just doesn't work. It's not going to work on a lot of different levels. And AI can get you far enough. I won't be here and say that AI is not a threat. What AI has done is gotten rid of a lot of the generalist writers who would have done this work. And our demand has increased ever since ChatGPT came out. Our demand has increased. And I think we're going to see more of that. We have, because what's happening is the zone has been flooded, and every law firm has the ability to crank out a technically correct, looks like it's okay car accident page. But their prompt is the same prompt that competitor 1, 2, 3, and 400 are using. So what you get is a lot of the same with
Yeah.
a couple firm specific things dabbled in that a paralegal put in there. But we've done these pages since before AI, and now after we've upped our game too. We know we're competing with AI. We're not crazy. We're not opposed to AI. But yeah, so you're right. We niche down. If you had told me when I started getting into this industry, I had no idea how deep it went. And now I've been to legal marketing conferences every year all over the country. And it's wild how many niches there are. But if you're a business owner, if you have an idea, make it more specific. I always tell people the idea you probably have probably isn't specific enough to make the money you think you want to make. Because if you try to do it all, why we don't do anything but content is because Victoria and I only knew writing. That's why we started there. That's the only thing we knew. So we knew if we started this company and tried something that we weren't comfortable with, we were going to fall on our faces. But we knew how to write and we figured out how to do SEO. So that's what we went with. And it's been successful for us.
Yeah, I love it. Well, when you think of the future and you think about where you want to take the company, let's say over the next few years, what does that look like from a revenue standpoint? If you don't want to share that, that's fine, but like any other targets that you're aiming towards. But also, do you ever see a world where you're actively trying to advertise? Maybe like you're posting ads yourself, or do you
Yeah.
feel like you'll be fine just relying on referrals?
The referrals are going well so far, but we have hit a plateau and this is a self-caused plateau. It's because we know we want to grow. So we went ahead and this year has been our focus. The first half this year was let's get our internal processes done so well and so organized to where if someone came in tomorrow and offered to double our business, we could do it. And there was some structural pain in the beginning of this year to get to that point. We needed to get some people shifted around to where they needed to be, some people that weren't comfortable where they were within the business, but they were better over here. So we did a lot of that shifting. We figured out where Victoria and I were not communicating correct because we wrote these guides for our team 5 years ago, but we also have been moving other people into admin positions. And the way that we had been doing things, they had found better ways to do, but
Mm,
we were out of the loop. So we all had to get on the same page, get everything organized so we could do the next shift, which is what you're asking is I think we could easily double the business. I wanted to this year, but the processes that we had to get in first, it was more important.
okay.
So we will beat last year, at least we're forecasted so far to beat last year. It won't be doubled, but I think by the end of at least 2027, I could see us being well over double where we are now. We're going to expand beyond just the written content more into socials, but Victoria and I are starting a consulting program because we have all this knowledge now,
Nice.
especially with her being in the industry, that I feel like the pie is big enough that we want to help law firms, but we want to do it in a very specific way. The Blue Seven way, I guess we'll call it. Victoria and I have these ideas about how we can help firms grow. So we're going to be doing that in 2026. Now that won't necessarily impact all of the content part of the company. That will be just a small part, but we want to start talking to law firms that are wanting to go from where they are now to 25% growth, 30% growth. We want to help them talk about what they need to do along those ways. And we're going to get into socials now. If you want to talk radically, I am I feel strongly about this idea, and I've been writing about it for years. People still think I'm crazy, but I feel strongly about augmented reality advertising and metaverse stuff. So with the way that AI
I think
is
you're a little
growing,
bit ahead of your time.
yeah, I know, but it'll be there. It'll be there. I wrote a page years ago about legal marketing and metaverse and went a couple years back when we were all going crazy over Web3 and it's going to be metaverse. And it ended
Yeah,
up crashing down. But I really, there's something there because once the augmented reality, once the glasses become more mainstream, once we hit that critical point, because I can't wait to get them. I want a screen in my eyes. I want to, but it needs to be fluid. I know we're a little ways away from that, but just imagine how the marketing is going to change for
yeah,
that. You're walking down the road and now, oh, there's my law firm billboard in the corner. It's
in the
not physical,
metaverse.
but it's there.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And there's no hard costs or anything. That is super. Or when I say no hard costs, like physical cost to
yeah,
make the billboard. I that is so funny to me. Just the idea of me walking in the metaverse and seeing like maybe some a random guy on the street pops up who's an avatar and he's call Morgan and Morgan if you've ever da 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 da
get into
da.
it. You, hey, or extreme. You want to talk about ambulance chasers? We can call that car accident chasers. They get into a car wreck and your glasses are on, man. As soon as you're out of the car, they're like, "Oh, by the way, here's an ad for a car accident lawyer since you've just been in one." But honestly, we're going. It
That's
will.
wild.
That tech is going that direction. We're
It,
not. We already have it in our pockets, but once it gets
it's already listening
here,
to us.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. There's no way around. We can't hide it. These debate 10 years ago, if you'd have said anything along the lines of how much privacy we give up, we would have all rolled our eyes and said it's never going to happen. And now it's just we let it happen because if you want to participate in society, you almost have to allow a lot of this stuff. And oof, we're in a different world. But I feel like the metaverse marketing is coming. But that's my thing in my head that I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
want to be on the forefront of that when it happens. But until then, our main thing is we want to make sure that we're adapting. We're not just written content is just not cutting it overall marketing anymore.
yeah.
We're gonna try to do some video editing. We finally got our YouTube channel up and going, but a lot of our clients, we do have a few consulting clients now that just didn't quite understand the power of video now, and it is because we've kept up with our Instagram, but forever Google didn't index Instagram when you search for a company or a search term, but now they are. As of about a month and a half ago, Instagram's indexed. So when you type in Blue Seven content, some of the first things that pop up of our Instagram videos. So I'm starting to encourage clients to get into that. We're going to do some YouTube scripting for people because a lot of people don't know where to start. Here's your script. Now let's do some training sessions on how to do this because it can be intimidating if you've never gotten in front of a video before. It's awkward talking to yourself. So, yeah, we're going to try to content marketing is not just written words anymore. Content is content no matter what method you're using. And we want to make sure that we are offering what clients and customers and consumers are looking for in a way that they're looking for our clients.
Yeah, I love that. I really love the idea of the consulting side of things as well, helping law firms grow. We've worked at Closers, we've worked with over 4,000 different coaches, consultants, agency owners, and I know just given the level of expertise that you have and how targeted and specific you are in terms of the niche that you're helping, you're going to dominate with this.
I hope we do well. We have there are people in the industry I'm friends with that would be technically considered competitors, but I'm huge on collaboration over competition, right? Because the more I collaborate, and they're some of my biggest referrals, like referral partners, they will send me referrals if someone's not quite a good fit for them, they send our way, and if something's not quite a good fit for us, we can send it their way. Collaboration will win you over, even if you miss out on a client or two, the goodwill you build by collaborating with others pays off down the road. You don't know what you're putting out today that's going to get you a client or a referral a year from now. I had someone called a big legal marketing agency reached out to us earlier this year, and they didn't say who it was, but they said you come very highly recommended. And I love hearing that because if you had told me 5 years ago that anybody in the industry would be recommending us, I would have been, yeah, no, maybe. But yeah, here we are.
There you go. I love it. What is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
Honestly, LinkedIn. You can go to our website at blue7content.com. You can hit our contact page. Once you click the referral boxes, it's going to go to my inbox or Victoria's inbox or LinkedIn. You go on LinkedIn, Alan Watson, look up Blue Seven Content or me and Victoria. Victoria Lozano is my business partner. But yeah, you can almost always get me there. I'm hyper connected to the detriment of my sanity sometimes.
Yeah, I like that. Alan, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to blue7content.com. That's all words, by the way, no numbers in there. blue7content.com. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.